Hello, this is Debbie Kay with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you are watching Video Voters Guide. We are at the studios of MetroEast Community Media, interviewing candidates for the November 2018 ballot. We've invited all the candidates for the mayoral race for Gresham, and with me today is T Bemis. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Tell us why you want to be the mayor.
Oh, well, I already am the mayor, so I'm serving in my third term as mayor of Gresham. It has been my absolute highest honor to be able to represent such great people that live in Gresham. You know, I grew up here, Gresham Gopher. I have my business here. My kids are going to school here. This community has meant everything to me. Everything I've learned, my common sense, everything has become from this community. And so it's a great privilege to be able to represent my people in moving our community forward.
Thank you. What do you see as the major needs and also the major goals for your city?
I'll tell you, the major goal I have is that we've been singularly focused in recent years on children and families. I really believe that if we get that right, then everything else falls into place. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that, you know, in recent years we've reconstituted our recreation program with the city. That was one of the things that had been cut over the years for kids, and it used to be that you know, maybe there were not the need for recreation programs, and then we found out quickly that no, we do have a need to have recreation programs, and we need to keep kids busy and give them things to do, or we're going to pay for it on the other end in law enforcement or other issues. So we have been really focused on providing amenities and new parks, new partnerships with Boys and Girls Club, Friends of the Children, POIC, anywhere we can find programs that are supporting youth. That's really where we've been focused on. So my goal is to make sure that in all of that, we have a place where people can have a career, where they can raise their family in a great manner, where they can have great amenities in their parks, where they can have a great transportation system. All of those sort of things, like I said, the rest falls into place. If this is a place in a city where people want to raise their families and the schools are good, all of our schools in Gresham are being rebuilt, just about every one of them, which is a great renaissance for this community. And there's something else happening that hasn't happened in a long time in Gresham, and that is that the city, the business community, and education are all three working together to the better outcome of our students in our community. Everybody wants to put the onus of education outcomes on educators, but the reality is they have them for 20% of the time. They have the kids for 20% of the time. The other 80% of the time, who has the kids? Well, the city, capital C, has the kids. So if we get that right, we're well on our way to providing a great community, a better community, and I think that's exactly where we're headed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, what ideas do you have to deal with the growing homeless population in need of social services?
Yeah, this is a tough one, and it's a very vexing issue, and you've seen it handled pretty poorly in parts of this region. We have done things a little bit differently in Gresham. I will always lead with compassion. We are very compassionate about the homeless situation, but we do not turn a blind eye to livability. We will not let people destroy neighborhoods with dilapidated motorhomes or with tents or any of that. We have tried to put programs in place that help people get up and out of homelessness. For instance, we have a Clean Start program where we employ previously homeless individuals to go back to work to clean up the city. They get a stipend, they get rewarded for their efforts, they get reacquainted with the value of a paycheck, they have to maintain sobriety, and they move up and out of that program as well. We had to close the Springwater Trail. I mean, Portland had abandoned almost the Springwater Trail and left it, and we could not do that. I mean, we could not. Our children and our families, as I said before, were not able to use the trail. What did we do? We had to close a certain portion of the trail for environmental degradation, and then we started a strong patrol effort on there. But the real issue that with homelessness right now, there is a piece of it that's affordability, but the other piece of it is mental health services and drug and alcohol services. Mm-hmm. And those are services that the state has to be better partners in. The federal government has to be better partners in. In the state of Oregon, since the 1950s, we have reduced the mental health beds in this state by 93%. 93%. When you see people on the street right now, I was in Portland the other day and I saw, it broke my heart, but a gentleman was contorted on the sidewalk and just rocking back and forth. And who helps that person? Where does that person go? And again, the mental health beds, that has to be a part of the solution. The drug and alcohol piece has to be a part of the solution. We can't just talk about homelessness in terms of affordability. We have to talk about it in the wraparound services that are really, affecting the people that are going through this, or they're setting up a shop in our parks, or that sort of thing. So again, we will always lead with compassion. That's how we do it at the City of Gresham. But we will also hold the line on livability.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What are the 3 things that your city should do in the next 12 months to retain business and industry and make a positive contribution to our economy and civic environment? There's a lot in there.
Yeah, there is a lot in there. It's a great question, though, and it's a timely question. Having been the mayor during the Great Recession, I feel like I'm intimately familiar with the business community in this city. We have taken a different approach again in economic development, and we've been quite successful in it. And that is, for instance, during the Great Recession, we looked at our small businesses. What can we do to program parts of downtown, to program Gresham Station, to program parts of Rockwood where there's empty retail and things aren't quite humming yet? How do we do that? Well, we came up with a plan which was called the Garage to Storefront plan. And basically what we said is, if you want to open up a shop in one of these 3 areas and you have 5,000 square feet or less, we're not going to get in your way. You're not going to have a system development charge for parks, a transportation fee, a water fee to get your business open. You're not even going to pay a business license. And by the way, we're going to give you an advocate at City Hall that will stand with you from the day you pull your first permit to the time you pull the string on your open sign. Well, we thought that would be successful. We had no idea how successful it would be. In that short time, we put in 144 new businesses, and we reprogrammed 225,000 square feet of previous vacant retail and programmed it with job creators and a vibrancy, and that was all during the Great Recession. So there are things and levers that government can do to incentivize, and that's partially what we've done in a larger scale up at Gresham Vista Business Park, which was nearly 300 acres of state certified industrial land that we got certified. We started dealing with the Port of Portland to buy the properties, because we knew that they had an economic development focus the same as we did. We started splitting the parcels up, and just in a short amount of time, we had Subaru of America land at Gresham Vista, which they were looking anywhere in North America. De Beers Diamonds just opened up an $82 million facility on the site. It's their first site to do this new process of diamonds in the entire world. They came here. We just last week announced Medline, which is a medical manufacturing and product company that's coming to Gresham Vista. So all of those things, again, we set the table during the Great Recession. We put our transportation investments around Gresham Vista when there was nothing going on, because we knew that once we came out of it, that we'd have an opportunity to really land some great employees. And all of that continues to add to the general services, which for police and fire, the tax base that adds to that. So again, it's all that complete community. But retention is another thing. I mean, you have to make sure you're retaining your employees. And when I meet with companies, which I do quite regularly, the thing that I always tell them is I give them my card and my cell number, and I say, listen, this isn't about just right now. Okay, we can get through this and you can come here, but this is a long-term partnership. And part of your question asked about civics and what role does business have in that. And I think they have a huge role. And I think that the mayor's position is able to bridge the role between business and the community and connect them both, because we need them both. When we have community events, you need to have a strong representation from business community, and they're often the ones that are supporting it. And I know, from my business and everybody else's, that we sponsor every little league team and dance team and whatever else. So there's a great nexus there that I think sometimes gets overlooked, and bridging that together to create civic health and to create a place where children and families want to be, I think is one of the great assets I bring as being the mayor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are out of time.
Already.
You said a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. This has been the Video Voters Guide, and I want to remind you that our election is November 6th. It's a mail-in election. The last day to register to vote is October 16th. We urge your voters to visit the League of Women Voters of Oregon website, and especially to visit vote411.org, where you can see a facsimile of your ballot with links to all of the races, both ballot measures and candidates, and where candidates can upload videos and other material. Exercise your right to vote. It is your right, and please be informed, and please invite your family and friends to exercise their right to vote as well. Thank you very much.